All right, for all you RF technicians and engineers out there, welcome. Today, we're diving deep into a piece of the puzzle that is so critical but honestly often gets overlooked, the antenna. We're going to see how it's so much more than just a piece of hardware. It's our #1 tool for wrangling the propagation environment. So yeah, let's get into it. Now, just so you know where we're coming from, this is part 17 of a huge 20-part series. It's all based on this incredibly detailed report on RF propagation from the RFI detectives, who are part of Virtualization Options LLC. We're going to zero in on just this one chapter, because trust me, it absolutely deserves its own spotlight.
And this quote from the report, man, it just nails it. Think about that. The final interface. Everything we do in our system, all the design, the filtering, the amplification, it all has to go through this one single gateway. This is where our neat, tidy world of electronics smacks right into the messy, unpredictable physics of the real world.
So here's our game plan. We'll start by talking about the antenna as the final interface. Then we'll get into the classic battle, raw power versus surgical precision. After that, we'll open up your optimization toolkit, look at the goals you can actually hit, and wrap it up by talking about what it means to truly master this domain. Okay, first things first. Let's really get our heads around the role of the antenna. It is not just some passive components you bolt onto a tower and forget about. No way. It is, without a doubt, the most direct and most powerful tool you have to actively shape how your system performs out there. I mean, we've all been there, right? The link is dropping, you're getting slammed with interference, and what's the first thing that pops into your head? We need more power. It's the knee-jerk reaction. We start looking at bigger amps, we bug management for more budget. It's the go-to move. But here is the big question this chapter forces us to ask. What if just cranking up the watts is the brute force, less elegant solution? What if the smarter move, the more effective solution, is actually about intelligently aiming the energy we already have? What if it's all about precision? And this really brings us to this fundamental choice we have in RF engineering, the sledgehammer of raw power versus the scalpel of antenna optimization. Understanding the difference between these two, well, that's where you find your true leverage as an engineer. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Look on the left, transmit power. It's locked down, it's tightly regulated, it costs a fortune, and you often just can't get more. But then look at the right, antenna optimization. That's your playground. That's the stuff you can often adjust freely with your own two hands to get huge performance gains without increasing your radiated power by a single milliwatt. So, if we're going to focus on precision, what are the actual knobs we can turn? Well, the source material gives us 5 key variables that you, the engineer, are in control of. This is your toolkit.
First step in the kit is selection. This is just basic right tool for the right job. Are you trying to use a ground wave, sky wave, line of sight? You can't just throw any old antenna at the problem. You've got to match the fundamental design to the physics of the path you're trying to use. It's step 1.
Next up, orientation. And this is so much more than just pointing the thing in the right direction. It's a two-sided coin. Of course, you're aiming that main lobe to get the best signal, but you can also use the nulls, the dead spots in the pattern, to surgically cancel out a known source of interference. It's offense and defense, all in one. Then there's height. And you know, moving an antenna up or down, sometimes by just a few feet, can have an absolutely massive impact. You can clear an obstacle, you can totally change your multipath by shifting where the ground reflection happens, and you can literally see further by changing the radio horizon. It's a game changer. Tool number 4, polarization. This one's huge. If you have a vertically polarized wave coming in and you're trying to catch it with a horizontal antenna, you're just throwing signal away. It's that simple. Matching your polarization maximizes the energy you capture and gives you fantastic rejection of interference from cross-polarized signals. And finally, the gain pattern. This is really the soul of precision right here. The gain pattern is how the antenna literally sculpts RF energy. A high-gain antenna is like a spotlight. It puts all that energy exactly where you need it, and, just as important, it keeps it away from where you don't. Okay, so we have our toolkit. We have these 5 variables we can play with. But why? What's the point? Well, the point is to turn all this theory into real-world, tangible wins for our network. Using that toolkit lets you achieve these 4 critical things. You can actively choose and exploit the best propagation path available. You can surgically reject that nasty interference source. You can build a system that can fight back against fading. And you can push the boundaries and extend the coverage of your network. These are the goals, and the antenna is how you get there. Which brings us to the big takeaway here. This is about more than just tweaking a few things.
It's a complete shift in your mindset. It's about recognizing where you, as an engineer, have the most power to make a difference.
So if you remember one thing from this, let it be this. Your antenna configuration is not an afterthought. It's not the last thing on the bill of materials. It is your #1 strategic advantage. The choices you make about selection, orientation, height, polarization, and gain, those are some of the most impactful decisions you will make on any project, period.
And that's the thought I really want to leave you with today. The next time you're looking at a system design or out on a site survey, ask yourself this question. Am I treating this antenna like it's just another component on the list? Or am I truly leveraging it as the powerful strategic tool that it is? Because how you answer that can make all the difference in the world.